Fanatical Elfz Show, part of the Elfz Network. We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans, bringing you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now. Hey, it's not a Thursday. It's a Friday afternoon, 5 o'clock somewhere, 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central. Thank you for joining us here on the Fanatical Elfz Network. This is our show. There's Steve Guild. Down there is Sam Britton. I'm John Suchan, and we are part of the network here with Fans First. And Happy New Year, Steve, Sam, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Happy New Year, happy. Okay, I can't sing.
I guess. It's a new one.
Yes, Steve, how are you feeling there in Nashville? I know your Vanderbilt team lost a tough one in the bowl game recently.
You play a crappy first half. That's what you get. If they had just played a normal first half, they probably would have won. But it's a nice little bowl game. My brother went down to Tampa, my old stomping grounds.
Okay.
So I'm sure he and his friends had a good time leading up to it. I know they ate at a couple nice restaurants. Really disappointed in the Ohio State University, but Miami wanted it more, obviously. So hopefully the Buckeyes will now hire an offensive coordinator. Other than that, it's about 50 degrees here in Nashville. Got a little light rain, and by this time next week, it'll be 68.
Nice.
God, I love this temperature. This is the wackiest thing you've ever seen. It's crazy. This past year, our warmest day was 101, and our coldest day twice was -8. So that's quite a range.
Oh, that is very much so. And then if you go down to where Sam lives, down there in Arlington, Texas, with his Texas hat and Texas cowboy hat on.
Yeah.
It's very warm down there from what I understand.
It's basically 80 again, yeah. For January, which is supposed to be the coldest month, but this might mean it'll be a I think this means it'll be a scalding summer, because usually harsh winters
scalding. There's a word you weren't probably ready to hear today.
Usually, it's not obviously scientifically true, I bet, but it seems to be harsh winters equal cool summers, and warm winters equal extremely hot summers.
Yes.
So I have a feeling this summer is going to be brutal, because we had a really cool summer this year, and so it's going to be a rough summer if this winter stays like this. But it's nice. It's been a fun past few weeks with all the holidays and things, but I'm excited for the final week of football, all the different little things. Excited to watch the Steelers lose again, because, they seem to do that a lot.
But do they get it? Do they win and sneak into the playoffs and then lose, or do they just lose?
Oh, what doesn't matter? They're not winning a playoff game, so.
Well, I know, but isn't it more traditional that they get to the playoff and then they lose in the playoffs?
I think I have no idea, because it's such a weird little team, right, that they have. And same with the Ravens. Like, one week the Ravens look good, and then the next week they can't combine anything to work. So I have no idea.
Well, there's a lot there to unravel there. I guess to start with, just to go back to what Steve mentioned earlier with the Buckeyes, because I don't know if Sam's not a Buckeye fan, but Steve and I probably are a little bit more, just because going back in the day, and they just laid a huge egg. I talked a little bit about it on my show. They were just not prepared for what hit them. And that Miami team, my God, that defense, dude, whoever that number 4 is on defense, the Bates kid or whatever is he draft eligible?
They have two exceptional.
Can we draft one of those guys?
Defensive ends. I'd rather draft a couple of their offensive linemen, to be honest with you. Those guys are big. I mean, they're huge. They're maulers. I love it.
Well, and the thing too, like here locally, I listen to 97.1, and they're all the sports guys. They're big Buckeye fans here, and they're all downplaying what happened. But they were talking the morning of the game. I listened to them before the game started, and they were all like trashing Carson Beck. And I'm like, dude, the guy's been in college for like ever. I think he's got a little bit of experience. So I would, he didn't have to do a lot. He did some good things in that game, and to go along with Miami's great defense. So
Yep.
anyway, it was
Anyway, who's
yeah.
alive?
So we'll move on, but a lot of things going on here with the Browns. Last game of the season, there's been a lot of different conversations being had about the quarterback play, about Myles Garrett, about Kevin Stefanski. They were all interviewed this week at various times. Today, Kevin Stefanski again was talked to by the media. Myles Garrett was talked to. A lot of people, or a lot of things circulating, suggesting that Kevin Stefanski might be parting ways with the Cleveland Browns after this game. But it's all speculation, and I think Steve has talked about it on your show already, and we've talked about it on this network. That it's really just whatever the Haslams decide. So, but
Whatever is in Jimmy's head right now.
Stefanski did mention today he made some sort of comment that was sort of general, and everybody on the team is a part of the team, and he kind of included himself in that. So some people are speculating that he's moving on based on that, and then you couple that with Myles Garrett talking in terms of wanting to win and to be successful now, not want to tank. That would though counter
or rebuild
what
rebuild,
you would say,
no
Steve.
That's
what.
Yeah, these guys who've been through the 1-31, they don't want to do this again. I mean, it's going to be a whole new coaching staff, and you don't know what this coaching staff, this job really isn't that attractive right now, simply because of the quarterback situation. I mean, the next guy could come in and say, "Well, sorry, Shedeur Sanders stinks. I'm getting rid of him," and then you're back in that quarterback carousel. What are you going to do? So, I've lived through enough of these rebuilds through all the different owners since '99, and I don't want to go through it again. I'm too old for this garbage, to be perfectly honest with you. It's just it's you're looking at a couple of years, because if all these people hate Jimmy Haslam, and now they're all loving Jimmy Haslam, because if he gets rid of Kevin Stefanski, you're going to really trust Jimmy Haslam to help pick the next coach. Really? You really are going to do that? So what I get from these interviews is Haslam wants stability. And like Sam and I have both said, give them one more year, and if they screw it up again, new people in 27.
Do you feel like if you bring somebody in, is that automatically
there
defined,
really
in
isn't
your opinion, as
anybody
a rebuild?
There really isn't anybody out there who's out there to come in and change this. So everybody talks about
what about Jim Schwartz? What about
what about Jim Schwartz? You really think they're going to be better under Jim Schwartz?
I'm throwing it out there.
He had one winning season. One.
I'm throwing it out there, Sam.
And I think he won 9 games. I think they went 9-7.
I mean, you really don't have anyone who wants to come, who's even out there at this moment in time. And no, you'll still be probably a few drop-offs over the next few weeks next few months, I'm sorry, from the weaker teams. You might see like the Raiders fire their head coach, though they probably won't, because again, that's kind of a guy who's got a bigger name, but and the Raiders also are probably going to go and get the Utah kid, so you can't really fire your head coach just yet. But no head coach realistically wants to come here anyway. The quarterback situation is a mess. Really don't know who's your starter for the next few years. You're basically asking to get fired at that point, because again, winning league, if you're in here for 2 years and you still can't put anything together, they're going to just get
You're basically.
Sorry about that.
There's not really any appeal to this team right now. Now, if you can get a good quarterback in the next few years, maybe Shedeur pops up as the guy. Maybe you find a really good guy in the next few years from the draft. Then it will bring up the appeal much, much more, because people want to come into a stable team. But I mean, it's also a very random league. Like, it's almost impossible to tell what
Well,
the
that's what I'm
outcome of
getting
the
at, Sam, because you always talk about that point. You bring this point up, and I think it's valid. That, and Steve, I think you would agree that, I mean, the NFL, you just don't know sometimes, and so I don't know why the suggestion of, if the Browns do make a change, why it automatically has to be that we're in a rebuild. Why can't we
They
just?
don't have a quarterback.
What about Shador?
basically in a rebuild till you get a new quarterback. I mean,
You
because
don't.
that's the
You
most
don't.
essential
You guys.
part.
So neither one of you think that Shador could be the guy.
He's not
Shador
going to
could
be
be.
could
Shador
be,
could
but we
be.
don't know.
Because I mean, we've only had a year of his play, and we've only seen. And don't
Well,
forget, he
that's
hasn't.
6 games. Yeah.
And I'm also not trying to excuse his play, but he hasn't had the best offensive line in history.
Okay.
Jerry Judy half the time can't hold on to the ball. He likes dancing and then getting it punched out of his hands. So, and I've seen genuine connection between him and Fannin, and some of his throws have looked pretty decent. He's had good plays, but
Yeah.
we've only seen 6 games. He hasn't had an incredible team backing him. The play
Uh-huh.
calling hasn't really been there. When it is, though, he's looked really good. I mean, he's had good games. And so I don't know. He could be the guy, he could not be. And I think
I'm.
it
Yeah.
just depends on if we build, we could take the 49ers route, right? I think Shadur could bring you to a Super Bowl if you took the 49ers route and built a super team and just slotted someone in. I think you could pretty easily make
Okay.
it with Shadur. I think he can do that. Now, is he going to bring a team to the Super Bowl all by himself? No, I don't think he can do that. But with a team, I think he absolutely can. So it just is. It's just such a hard
Mm,
thing to determine, especially
mm,
in the modern NFL.
No, I'm laughing because I was reflecting on Stefanski's part of his press conference. Steve, you probably heard this bit when the guy asked him this question about coming back and everything, and in his question to Stefanski, the reporter said, you've been. I feel bad for you because you've dealt with this inferior offense all season. And it was just so funny. Like, and Stefanski handled that very well, I thought. In his response was, I appreciate your opinion, but but the way that the reporter described the Browns' offense. I mean, I know we talk about it, but just for the reporter to talk about it, and I don't agree with that. I don't think that this offense has been inferior, but I mean, it has been great. But there have been some really good signs, especially like we talk about Junkins and Fannin, and and then on the defensive side, you got great rookies that are making some strides. So, um, that's why I was laughing earlier. Sam, you were talking about, I forget what you mentioned, and all I could think of was Stefanski hearing about his inferior offense. So do you guys? So neither one of you think that Stefanski is going to get fired on Monday?
I don't know.
Okay.
Only Jimmy Haslam knows.
Not Monday. I don't think he's going to be fired
Well, it's
Monday.
Black Monday. That's what they call it. I mean, it's
Yeah, but I think it could be, it could not be. I mean, yeah, only Haslam knows. Now, maybe there's a few other guys around Haslam who might also know. He might, chit chats, but
mhm.
no, I think it's basically limited to Haslam, who has
What,
any idea if he's going to fire him or not.
Steve? You heard the conference with Stefanski, maybe when he talked about David Njoku. Some reporters are speculating because he's talking about his relationship with David Njoku now, that means also he's talking about things in the past, that like he's ready to move on, and so he's sharing more information about these players in his relationship with them, and that's why some local reporters are speculating he's gone. Like he's made, like there's been they've both, the organization and Stefanski have mutually agreed to part ways after Sunday, because of this. No, I'm just throwing this. These are just observations by other people that are out there. I mean, we're talking about psychology. I mean, everyone is reading into everything right now.
We're talking about psychology with people that have no idea how psychology works. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I have a degree in psychology from
I know you
Vanderbilt.
do, Steve. That's why
And
I brought it up.
you know what I listen to? I listen to what people say before I form an opinion.
Right.
And these guys and I don't have an agenda. If he gets fired, well, guess what? We're in for a long, long couple of years. If he comes back and Andrew Berry does what he did in this past draft, does it on the offensive side, then I think they could be successful pretty damn quickly.
Okay.
But, you know, and everybody brings up Mike Vrabel and Ben Johnson. Well, both of those guys had a quarterback when they came in, when they were hired. Okay. They already had their quarterbacks. So, and
but what
anyway,
if we
how's
everything
going in Foxborough? I mean, he's got 2 guys busted this week. Boy, that's a real culture
But if we all agree, if we agree that Shedeur could be the guy, and I know we haven't seen a lot of him, why can't we agree that he could have our quarterback?
He has good moments, but last 3 games, 2 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Got it.
I don't like that.
I don't like
that at all. That dropped interception against Pittsburgh would have changed the entire complexion of the game.
But it didn't. I agree, but it didn't.
Well, there's a reason he's a linebacker and not a tight end. He can't catch the ball. But he almost did, and I have a feeling that would have just changed the whole thing. I think the Steelers would have routed the Browns after that point. And,
but we won. So
that's this year's you've got so many rookies, so many young players playing that one little razor's edge of good or bad. Yeah. I mean, you look at the Green Bay game.
Yeah.
I mean,
we were going to lose that 3 minutes to go.
Their so-called coaching genius couldn't even get through any entire game without doing stupid things. So, and look at Mike Tomlin. I mean, everybody loves Mike Tomlin. Never had a losing season. He does some of the stupidest things I've ever seen. I mean, why are you throwing it in the end zone at a Pro Bowl?
Oh, I think that was Aaron Rodgers.
When you've got a huge tight end that got you down the field.
Aaron Rodgers.
You got 2 running backs who can catch the ball.
Aaron Rodgers. It's his. I don't know what their relationship is, but I am hell bent on thinking. I mean, there's no way that wasn't Aaron Rodgers who was doing that at the end. Like he was hell bent on making something work.
Well, it wasn't Arthur Smith, because Arthur Smith likes to run the ball.
Right? So do you think, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Aaron Rodgers is such a cocky son of a gun that I'm sure that he probably told whoever when those plays were being thrown out at him not to do what he was doing, right? I mean,
I'm sure he's got the option of several different plays. And, you know, if he called that shows you
boneheaded. And you're going against Denzel.
That shows you the problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have no quarterback.
Well,
they won't have one next year either. And they'll probably finish. I don't know where they're drafting now.
Next year?
I think he's going to retire, to be perfectly honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. All right. Well, let's pause for a quick commercial break. We'll talk a little bit more about the game itself in Cincinnati on the other side of the break.
Game.
We'll be back. We are back here on the Fanatical Elfz show. Thanks for tuning into us. Thanks for listening to us later on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you listen to your podcast. Type in Fanatical Elfz Network. You can find us also on YouTube, on the X, on TikTok at Elfz Network, ELFZ Network. Follow us, subscribe to us. We love the fact that you watch us and support us. And shout out to Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. They shake the hand of the farmer. And they are on our X page. Click on the link. You can buy some amazing coffee. Sam can tell you all about the coffee.
Yeah, I'm basically their spokesperson now. Yeah.
I reached out to them. They have not responded back to me. I'm a little irritated. Also, Spotlight Cleveland bar down there on the west side of 5 minutes from the stadium, family owned. I'm related to the family. Have a little bar over there, Spotlight Cleveland. So if you're done at the stadium, run over to the bar over there. Some great food, great environment over there. Spotlight Cleveland, to check them out. So the Browns are traveling down to Cincinnati. Johnny Cleveland here, or myself, John, is traveling down with Joel Cade, who does What the Elf. We're going to go to the game Sunday afternoon. Very excited to go down to the game, and we're going to be sitting in the end zone. Joel thinks that you're going to be able to see us on the TV if there are any field goals. So we'll try to wave our hands and do all that to get people to notice us. Maybe if I took my shirt off, No, I don't think
Oh,
I will
please
do
don't
that.
do that.
Yeah, but they would draw
Don't do
some
that.
attention. It would definitely draw some
Yeah, it
attention.
would.
Not in a good way.
You
I
can
might
face
I
paint.
might not have a job on Monday,
Yeah.
but that's okay. Oh, what do you guys think, Sam? What do you think about this game on Sunday? I mean, it's irrelevant, but I want to lead into this too, Sam. Before you start talking, I was talking to another family member recently this week, for a holiday gathering, and he was so pissed off. And Steve, if you want to talk about this too, when I talk to you, he was so irritated. The Browns beat Pittsburgh. He's like, "What are they doing? They're ruining our draft position." And I'm like, "Oh Lord, are you kidding me? You're not really a Browns fan, are you?" And we just was like, "I can't believe that you're pissed off about the Browns beating the Pittsburgh Steelers, our hated rival." Anyway, back to you, Sam.
I'm a strong guy for keeping that draft spot. It's the Steelers though. You might as well beat them. They're your inter rival. They're your bitter rival. Probably the rival. That's not the right word. Probably the most intense one, I
Yes.
think. Now you could obviously say the Ravens because of what happened to the Browns moving there and everything. But no, I think theoretically, from a purely business perspective of maximizing the amount of capital you have, yes, that loss is detrimental, but that is a purely business perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Joel
other
talked about
perspective,
that the other day. Yeah.
any other perspective, that's a great win. You shut them down. They had no offensive performance, basically. They just looked like a bunch of little kids out there that couldn't score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a nice win to see, especially against that kind of a rival. You're literally detrimenting their entire season because if they had won that game, they're in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So you theoretically could be the reason you knocked the Steelers out of the playoffs. Which, hey man, if I'm gonna not do anything with my season, you might as well ruin one of the opponent's seasons. So, yeah, from a purely business perspective, yes, that was technically bad, but no, that was a great win. Love seeing the Steelers lose and love making it harder and harder for them to get into the playoffs.
Steve, what do you think about the Bengals on Sunday? I know Sam talked early in the season about how they were a bunch of 12-year-olds playing defense for the Bengals. The Browns barely lost that game, should have won it, didn't. I would think that the Browns have that on their mind, that they want to get revenge and make sure that they take care of business down in Cincinnati. And Joe Burrow has been sacked 11 times by Miles Garrett.
12.
Miles Garrett has a 73% chance of sacking Joe Burrow. And after listening to Joe Burrow's press conference yesterday, Joe Burrow is basically, come and get me. He's going to get pounced on, I believe.
Yeah, 12 times, 43 pressures
Yeah.
against Burrow. So, real quick about the Pittsburgh loss.
Yeah.
The Steelers were the only team in Week 17 not to score a touchdown.
Mm.
How pathetic is that? So,
That's about right,
yeah, I will take a win over the Steelers or the Ravens or the Bengals any day of the week.
For
That
sure.
makes me happy. As for the Bengals, let's see what the Cleveland defense can do. They are on the road. They don't play as well on the road as they play at home. Schlesinger's already out, so
That
it'll
sucks.
probably be Diabate in the middle and maybe Jerome Parker. I know that Devin Bush is having one hell of a season.
Yes.
Also, no Fannin, no Njoku. They did a really good job against.
I'm playing tight end for the Browns on Sunday. I forgot to tell you guys that.
Oh, good. Congratulations. They did a good job against Josh Allen. They did a good job against Aaron Rodgers. So I think Cincinnati averages something like 327 yards a game.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what happens. If I'm the Bengals, I just lay down and let Miles get his sack on the first play. Let's just get it over with.
Beautiful. I love it.
I mean, just let him have it and move on. I mean, the Pittsburgh game, it was so obvious that they game planned not to have Miles Garrett break the sack record instead of game planning to win. It's blatantly obvious.
So obvious.
They got to stop the run. Chase Brown, when he gets going, they get going. So stop
True.
the run. Burrow does very well under pressure, so you can't really blitz him. You're going to have to stick to that 4-man pressure, maybe slide in a safety or a corner blitz every once in a while to catch him off guard. They could win. Browns could win. They could lose. I hope it comes down to a game-winning field goal by Andre Schmidt.
Yeah. That would be sweet justice,
for
right?
the victory as time runs out. That would go nice little
the
full
complete circle. Yep.
He has been fantastic.
He's been outstanding.
So,
yeah, I've been very impressed with him. Sam, what are your thoughts on the game Sunday? Do the Browns go out there and win?
Joe Burrow has like sleep paralysis, and instead of demons, it's just Myles Garrett standing in the corner of his room every night. So realistically, Joe Burrow is probably shaking at the boots because he knows Myles Garrett is going to be. Yeah, Myles Garrett is going to be punching hard to get that sack. I know that's, the funny thing is players are always like, before they break a record, they're like, no, I never was thinking of it. No, I was never thinking of it. Before the championship, right? They're like 3 runs ahead in the World Series Game 7. They're like, I was never thinking. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
you're definitely lying. There's no way you were not thinking we're about to win the World Series or we're about to break this record. Like,
yes,
I can understand that you wow, never mind.
Compartmentalize, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Compartmentalize.
You can kind of take those feelings and kind of mold them and kind of slow them down, but there's no way that's not something that is always running through your head when that's happening. So I know Myles Garrett will be pushing hard to try and break that record. He obviously wants to help his team win another game. That's always what the main goal of playing the NFL is to make your team win. But I mean, they are the Bengals, so the defense is not exactly something you really want to be doing bad against. That's never something you want to see, especially the Bengals defense. But yeah, I mean, I think a win could be possible. I think it could be a close game. These teams feel somewhat equal in multiple different factors, but I think it'd be an equal, 24-ish points on both sides,
okay,
maybe a game-winning field goal. Maybe it just is like 24-17, something like that. But I think the Browns could come away with a win realistically.
I'm more encouraged because right now they have both Denzel Ward and Tyson Campbell at corner.
Yeah.
So, and Tyson Campbell had one hell of a game last
I'd like to see a pick six, take it back. Yep.
So the passing game probably won't be there like Cincinnati wants it to be. And I don't know why they're even playing Joe Burrow. I know why he wants to play, because he wants to get the hell out of Cincinnati. And he wants to show off, for his potential new team. So, which they would never let him go. But hey, he's not happy. He wants out of there. You talk about the AFC North, and none of them really has a stable quarterback situation.
I would not be happy in Cincinnati either.
No kidding.
You just get wrecked every single time. I think one of the things I've said is like 5 egg cartons for an offensive lineman.
Yeah,
I can't remember all the jokes I've said, but
did he grow up in Ohio though? Did Joe Burrow grow up in Ohio? I know he went to Ohio. Well, no way. No, he's from Athens. That's right. He's from Athens. Then he went to LSU. Okay.
Yeah, he went to Ohio State. Then he transferred to LSU, won a natty.
You know what I think it is? I think it's dealing with Jamar Chase. I think he's a moron. I think it's being around those guys for all these years. I think Burrow is just like done. I can just imagine what's going on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that these guys like each other anymore.
Not having an offensive lineman to protect you, it's the Andrew Luck effect. Luck probably would have been a great player and was a great player, but I think he could have been a Super Bowl champion, but he just got killed every single season. They just could not put any protection in front of him. And, taking over after, to some degree, you still have the legacy of Peyton Manning that you're dealing with as well.
True.
And so if you can't live up to that, you're like, you hear that stuff just after 10 years of being compared to this kind of guy. And so, I mean, you just get beat up year after year after year, can't build a good defense. You've seen greatness. You were theoretically a single play away from winning the Super Bowl. You've been there, you've done that, and you can't replicate it. I mean, that has to just be really rough on your psyche. Now, I know Joe Burrow is a very mentally strong person and has a lot of
Yeah.
very, very good mental qualities that I've heard of. But I
Uh-huh.
mean, that still damages your consciousness dealing with that
Mm.
for years on end.
All right. Well, I think that I have a feeling this game's going to be high scoring. I think there's going to be lots of points scored. I think both defenses are going to be a little bit lax. I think because they don't have people like Carson Schwarzenegger in there. Myles Garrett's going to be rugged, trying to go after his last sack. I see the back and forth here. I'm thinking maybe a higher scoring, like 28-24, either team. I think, is Cincinnati a 3-point favorite, 4-point favorite right now when I last checked?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I know they're favored, but only not by like a field goal or something. So, before I leave you guys, just, I know we've been through all of this season together. We appreciate everybody listening to us here at the Fanatical Elfz Network. I wanted to know, like, just when you look back at the season, obviously the Browns season has been piss poor, pretty crappy. What are some of the highlights, though? What are some of the positives that you would think of, one or two of the best highlights or the positives from this season that we can maybe build on going to the next year? Sam, let's start with you. What are one or two things that are like moments this season that were really cool, or players or things that got better, even though we have a 4-12 record or something right now?
The obvious answer is going to be that Green Bay game. I mean, you look at the Green Bay team, you were at that point, you were thinking they're the best team in the NFL, and then you just go out and beat them for some reason. And then, I mean, that's the moment that quickly comes to mind. I can't really think of a whole lot of moments to this point. But, well, that super sack game, was it 5 sacks or it wasn't
5?
7? 5. I keep getting 7 in my head for some reason. That
Yeah.
5-sack game was just unbelievable to watch.
Right?
That was just crazy. And then seeing him do it almost the same thing again 2 weeks later, I think, is, I mean, that whole sequence of a few weeks there was just unbelievable to see him get. I'm pretty sure he got like 11 in, I think he got like 9 or 10 and was almost equal to the sack total of second place within like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It was an insane statistic. So Myles Garrett has just been legendary, but that 5-sack game was unbelievable. And that Green Bay game was just crazy to watch.
It's funny considering how we were all talking about Myles Garrett this offseason and he wanted to be traded. All of this conversation we had constantly. And now we're talking about him breaking this individual season sack record, which, by the way, those of you knuckleheads who are out there who are trying to put an asterisk next to Myles Garrett's name if he doesn't do it, and because he didn't do it in 15 or 16 games, you're absolutely ridiculous. Myles Garrett has done it in like 200 less passing attempts. There's no comparison. So some of you idiots out there that want to use that as leverage to say, oh, well, Myles Garrett's not as good as Strahan or that idiot in Pittsburgh, you can kiss my ass. That's just ridiculous. Steve, some good things that happened this season?
Of course, the Green Bay game. As a team, the 10 sacks against the Raiders.
That's right. They had 10
I think
as a team.
Myles had 2.5 in that game.
Wow.
The victory over the Dolphins was very nice, considering everybody assumed the Dolphins were dead, and then they went on a tear right after they lost to the Browns. I mean, the rookies. I think that's what's really going to stand out about this season. They have a great foundations already started. Just get 2 rooms fixed: offensive line and wide receiver. That's all you got to do.
And special teams coach.
Oh, that's a given. Wouldn't it be funny that all these opinions and feelings by all these national reporters, because the Browns front office doesn't leak, they are actually out interviewing special teams coaches? Wouldn't that be hilarious? I think that would be hilarious. I hope they keep Kevin Stefanski only so I can tune in on Monday morning and listen to exploding heads. I
Yeah.
think I'll pop up some popcorn for breakfast.
Well, I think everyone is, we're all anxious. We're all talking about it. I think it's just kind of customary as a Browns fan. You get to this stage, and listen, there's been some great moments this season. I mean, you both talked about the Green Bay game. I helped cover that game for Northeast Ohio Sports Insiders, and I will tell you to my grave that that was one of the best moments of my life. I don't even remember the drive home from Cleveland, and I don't like driving, especially at night when it's dark. And I don't remember a damn thing about the actual drive. I just remember the euphoria and talking to all my friends and people that love the Browns, and it was a wonderful uh, post game experience. So um, something I will not soon forget. But yeah, I'm anxious to see what happens. I'm leaning towards Stefanski being fired, or at least I feel like that's what's going to happen Monday. But I don't know. Like you've already said, we don't know. But we'll find out now Sunday. Well, I don't know. Steve, do you want to do a post? You want to do a pregame
Yeah, I'll
show?
do
Maybe?
one. I'm gonna head to the Middle Tennessee Browns backer bar
Great.
Sunday morning. I haven't been all year since
So Steve will
game
do
one.
a pregame.
So I'll do something real quick. It'll only
Yeah.
be, pregame shouldn't be longer than 5 minutes. So
Yeah, and we'll have a post game reactions. I'll get my way back here from Cincinnati. I'll have a show later that evening. Sam or Steve, you are both welcome to join us on that show. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Fanatical Elves Network. We appreciate your loyalty. We appreciate you spreading the love. Tell people about our network. Tell people to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, so they can tune into Brown's Breakdowns with Sam, the man there, and Steve Gill. He'll have his show Monday, Dog Pound South. Hopefully a victory Monday as well.
I
See
hope
you,
so.
Steve. Yes.
Yeah.
See you guys later. Go Browns.
All right, go
Go
Browns.
Browns.